I hope you're having a great day. I'm so excited. It's so nice out. We went and had breakfast today because it's Friday, so I'm all fueled up. I got some weeds picked at home, so I didn't get started as early as I wanted to today. Not a big deal though, because I really enjoy breakfast. I've got my truck loaded up with all my plants. I know I won't get all these done today, but I thought if I close my tailgate, I can leave them out overnight and not worry about the deer getting them. I don't think the deer would, maybe, but I don't think they would jump in and get them. So I'm gonna risk it. So then that will take out the task of taking them in and out every day. And I'm gonna get as many in the field as I possibly can. I think I'm going to start with my dusty miller. I think it got a little burnt on the bottom leaves, but the top's looking really nice and it's so soft. But what this will do is I can start my dusty miller and come up, and then wherever it ends, I can go ahead and fill my ageratum to it. So that's what I'm going to start with, and I'll just keep going from there and get as much done as I possibly can. Okay, now I'm gonna take some ageratum and some stalk down with me. I did notice it looked like something ate the tops off of my ageratum. So there's something that likes it, but not all of it. I think it was only one of the mixes. It looks like it went through and ate the tops off. It's not looking very good. So I'm gonna go put as much as I can in. I might have another thing of ageratum at home. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But if not, I can either start more or just have what I have here. The only thing I don't like is when there's empty holes, there tends to be weeds. And I'd rather just have flowers, even if they go to seed or whatever. It's just less maintenance and it looks a lot better. I know that doesn't really matter, but I don't really like the weeds because if they go to seed, then they multiply. And some of these annuals, if they go to seed, they don't multiply because they don't survive here over the winter. So we'll see, but I'm gonna go and get these in. Well, that was weird. I don't know what ate them. Whatever it was is small enough to get under the fence, and it didn't bug the lisianthus, it didn't bug the snapdragons, and it does look like some of the stalk is like knocked over and missing. So I don't know what it was, but the tops are just gone. And at first I was like, oh no, is it some kind of worm? But then there were a few where this was completely pulled out of the ground and the top was gone. But like, there is like little growth here. I don't know if you can see it or how good that's zooming in. So these might actually produce anyway, because you can take ageratum and snip off the top and it just grows more. So they might be fine, but I kind of replaced the worst looking ones. This is probably not an example of one of the worst looking ones, but I wanted to show you how it does have growth there. So it might go ahead and sprout more growth. But yeah, that's kind of disappointing. I just planted that yesterday. But I think I'm going to go ahead and water all of this in and then start on the stalk. It does look pretty dry, even though I watered everything yesterday. It's so nice today, though. It's like overcast. It does get up in the 80s. It gets to 81 today, so a little warm. But right now, it's just beautiful. It's so much better than planting yesterday. Shoot, it looks like it got some of my stalk too, but on the stalk it didn't actually eat them. I just like cut them off and the stalk is still laying there. So I don't know if it just trampled through and knocked them off, but on those they were just gone, like they ate it. So I don't know what's going on. I know that we have a couple of chipmunks. I love my little chipmunks. They surely can't I don't know. And then we have a groundhog, and I'm wondering if it was the groundhog, but it didn't eat the grasses that I can tell. Or wait, did it eat the grass? It did eat the grasses, maybe? It did eat the grasses. I'm seeing they're all gone. But it didn't eat the snapdragons, and it didn't eat the lizanthus, so... Oh my gosh. This is sad. I'm gonna have to figure out what the heck this is. It's eating my plants. After all that hard work of putting them all in, there's something in here getting them. But I think the perennials are okay. They all look fine still. So at least that work wasn't lost. Yeah, I'm not seeing... So all of the frosted explosion grass is there, but I'm not seeing any of the bunny tails. It's all empty where I put them in yesterday. Huh. So I'm not really sure. I mean, I think stock is cut and come again, but I don't know if it's cut way down low, if it does or not. And I know Ageratum is, and I'm not really sure about the grasses, but grass usually grows back when you cut it. That's why we have to mow all summer. So I'm hoping it's not a major setback. And they don't like the Ageratum at the top. They, like, whatever it was, only liked this area. Like, it had the grass, the Ageratum, and the stalk. So it was just right here in this. So I don't know if something just came in. So I will keep sleuthing and try to figure out what is here and try to deter it some other way. But for now, I'm just going to keep planting. I don't know that there's much else I can do. Okay, I've been sidetracked by the hungry critter. I don't want it to like ruin my garden. So what I'm going to do, and this is a lot bigger task than it sounds, because right now all of my wood fits under the electric fence. But I'm going to run another line around my electric fence, just like this far off the ground, and hope that that deters anything that's getting in there and eating. Because the amount that was eaten probably is more like a rabbit, a groundhog, something a little bit bigger than like a chipmunk. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then hopefully I can get that done pretty quick and get back to planting. Okay, that task is done. I have a little line. I think you can see it. Just running along the bottom there. It's really low to the ground. I actually did test it and I got shocked. It was a nice little jolt, but it didn't hurt like horribly bad. It was enough that I don't want to do it again. So I think if a little critter went up and touched that, they would just jump away and be done with it. So I'm hoping that works. We will see. Okay, back to the stalk. I have one more tray left of stalk, which is not gonna fill this, and I don't know what I want to do with that, because the 6-inch spacing holes are the worst. But I definitely want to put something in them, because weed-wise, they're the worst to weed. And I'm down to only having really this one row that does the 6-inch spacing. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I've kind of run into a conundrum. I have my garden that has a deer fence all around it. And now I've added a line because I'm not sure if there's a groundhog or a rabbit. And when I did this garden out here, I did all things that deer don't like. And same with the perennial garden over there. The perennial garden over there, I think I've looked up everything and I'm pretty sure that it's safe. I guess I'll find out this year. I know lavender is safe. No animals like that. The peonies, I mean, they grow all over out here. Nothing's ever bothered them. So I think they're safe, which is, I mean, of that 1/4 acre, that's 1/8 of it. So the other 1/8 of an acre, I have salvia, which they didn't bother last year, but I had a deer fence around it. But I don't think salvia is one that they like either. I'm not sure. I hope they don't like the yarrow. And they've never, in my yard, I've never had anything bother the purple coneflowers, and those are deer resistant too. So, and we have rabbits in our yard like crazy, so I'm not worried about those. So a lot of that garden is safe. I feel like the deer fence garden is safe now that we put that other line underneath of it. And now I go to plant this one and I see that rabbits do like to eat Gomphrena, but not after it gets like taller than their nose, which is like, but right now mine is not that tall. So it worries me a little bit. And it's a little bit in the shade this time of day, and Gomphrena likes a lot of sunlight. So now I'm contemplating just going down to the garden down there, and instead of having a section for my succession planting of stock, putting the Gomphrena in, and then when I do my succession of stock, just pull out the other stock that maybe is bad, and if it hasn't gone bad, just not do a succession. Because the stock definitely deer like, so I can't put it out here. The other option is I could just run another electric fence around this little garden and be done with it. Because I also read that rabbits will eat zinnias, and I planted all my zinnia seeds, so if it's a rabbit, I'm in trouble. But they say deer don't bother the zinnias, so now I've got some other animals that I have to contend with. So yeah, if you know like of anything with zinnias or Gomphrena, drop it in the comments. I mean, I've done a lot of research. It doesn't seem like deer will eat zinnias. I've seen some people say that they do, but my zinnias were hanging over my electric fence last year. I'd have to go cut them so that my fence wouldn't ground out, and the deer never were nibbling on them or anything. So I really believe that they didn't like them. There's tons to eat too, like there's cornfields and bean fields, and the deer around here definitely have other options. So decisions. Maybe I will take my I just drug everything up to this garden to do my Gomphrena. But I see that it's shaded and it's only 3. I know in the summer though, the sun gets further over that way, so it probably won't be as shaded as it is right now. I don't know. So yeah, I think I might go back down there and just fill that last little section with Gomphrena. And maybe I'll put one tray up here and see if anything happens to it. If nothing ever happens to it, I'll know. So I'll go ahead and do that while all my stuff's here. I'll put one tray up here. And then if it doesn't do well, and then I'll put some down there as well of the same colors, and then that way I have some of it. I think a lot of people say that you overgrow zinnias or Gomphrena anyway, so maybe this will be for the best. Who knows? Yay! I only have about a 10-foot section. These, I hope they grow fast and overtake the weeds, because these 6-inch ones are the worst ones to weed in my opinion. So other than that little dinky section at the bottom, you can see it where it's not wet. The first 2 rows are completely planted. So I did my job, and as long as I water and feed, if they don't make it, I don't know what else I could do. I'm trying. So I'm excited to have 2 full rows of this field done, because over there I planted a bunch of seeds and I have little things done here and there. Like I have my snapdragons, I put some cosmo seeds, I have my zinnia seeds, my mahogany splendor hibiscus, amaranth. I still do have more of all of that to plant. So it was a really productive Friday. I got a ton of trays in. I'll take you to the truck and show you. So that's it. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think, trays left to plant. I do have 6 trays up on their first and second days of hardening off, and in my basement I would guess I have around 20 trays left, and then I think I have 3 trays that can go out anytime. So still a lot of trays to do, but I made a huge dent. If you remember, this whole back of the truck was done today. So another productive day on the farm. Tomorrow I have to remember to go cut some alliums and test their vase life, just putting them in water and putting them in the fridge. I just want to know how they work. I know that after they bloom, a lot of people take them as a dried flower or spray paint them and do things in bouquets like that, because they are real. But I do want to see the vase life. I mean, if the vase life is like 6 or 7 days, you could really put them in a nice bouquet and then people could pluck them out while your other flowers are still blooming. I don't know. I know that they're in the Allium family, so I don't know if they're toxic with other flowers or not. Maybe I can put them in with some other flowers and just see what happens. But I have a whole row blooming over there. I should take you over there and let you look. Okay, so this is right by the ditch. It's kind of a weedy mess, so, ooh, there's some cress. This stuff would be great for a bouquet. But anyway, oh look, the bees are already on it. Aren't they so pretty? And if you look down this row, there's just a ton of them blooming. Isn't that fun? I love it. And hopefully they just multiply over the years and get bigger. And there's the daffodils that I didn't pick. I'll just walk along up here, and isn't that cool? I love it. They all started blooming today. I think this is the stage you're supposed to actually cut them for a cut flower and have the longest vase life. I don't really have anything to go with them right now, but I guess I could have put them maybe in a cooler and they would have lasted longer. But yeah. So I definitely need to like mark that they bloomed on my Google Calendar, so I like 5 days or 6 days before I can start watching for them. I have to get better at cutting some of this stuff. I don't see a lot of people use alliums until after they're done blooming, so there might be a reason for that, but I did want to do a test. So tomorrow morning I think I'm just going to cut some that are partially open and cut some of them that were fully open. I better cut like 2 or 3 of each, and I can try putting them in the cooler and taking them out later, like 10 days later. And then I can also try putting them in a vase and seeing their vase life. So I don't know any of that yet, and I didn't find a lot of information when I did searches for it. I know a lot of people use it like when it's done, like blooming, as just like the seed head. So we'll see. So just an overall like view of my map. What I've highlighted in green are all the plants that I've put in. So those are all in, and unless they die, they should be okay. The yellow are all seeds that I've put in, and everything else is what I still need to do. I hope everybody has a fantastic day.